Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. Welcome and welcome back. So, I really wanted to show this off. I've made some good progress in two fronts. I think the generation front made some corrections here. A lot of what was going on before was that I would find those two models, the Checkpoint and the LoRa, and they were not compatible, so it wouldn't build or it wouldn't generate with it. Now, I make sure to check for that. So as you can see, when I select Dream Shaper, it's I believe it's 1.5 is the base model version, and these are all the available models. If I choose V6 XL, this is an XL, well, specifically a pony version. So now I can, just change to Hermione. I think that's all I need to put in, but maybe it'd be best to put in more. Yeah. But still, the general idea is the same. It takes more time because I switched models. That's another thing. If you switch models, now you have to spend the time to commit to that model, load that up, and then generate things. It's not as quickly as just, it's already running, so let's generate a model with the already committed checkpoint. So yeah, wow, great image. So now my book reader is broken over here, but that's fine because what we're here for is the immersive reading experience. This is the AI enhanced reader. So I come over here, let's select chapter 1. And right off the bat, I think you'll notice that I have, maybe right off the bat, what you notice is we're in dark mode. I couldn't live without it. Like it's just, it was too much without dark mode. So we got that. Maybe I'll in the future set as a toggle, but I mean, who doesn't want to read in dark mode? So I have, last time you saw profiles here, but now, like I mentioned before, you can search for them here, and there's a not safe for work filter. So kudos. And so what happens here? Well, I want to search up a person. So what I did here was let's search up for the Dursleys. Thank you to the creator. We'll see who the creator is of this model. Thank you, Furioso Aduk, Prompt AI 453. It's no longer available. I was going to go there to, say thank you, but he's got a lot of models. Check him out on Civet AI. He's got a ton of models of just popular characters that I'm sure will come in handy. Like I saw a bunch of Game of Thrones characters, and I've watched seasons 1, 6, and 7. Those are the seasons I watched. I joke around all the time. Those are really like the seasons that matter, right? Everything in the middle is filler, isn't it? It's just, season 1, winter is coming, and you're supposed to get, everybody's supposed to get on the island to actually have a war. Doesn't happen until season 6, right? So that's when it really starts. Everything else is just optional. Anyway, so yeah, that would be another great series. I know it's beloved, and one, it'd be great to watch the shows, but also it'd be great to read those books and have it stylized in this immersive reader. So something to consider. Haters, please leave comments. I'd love to hear you. So I guess I'm the hater. This is how I chose the model. So I went ahead and said, select this image, and then I said, assign as profile picture. So what that does is it makes it so that we have this profile that we've built for Mr. Dursley. And we need to, whenever Mr. Dursley comes up, we need to know everything about him so that when we're trying to generate an image, we can come through with it with informed options, right? We want to make sure we're drawing a good Mr. Dursley here. And so what happens is when I assign the profile, remember last episode when I showed you that we would select one of these and you'd have a great example of how to generate prompts. It would give you resources used, an example prompt. Sometimes there's a negative, how many steps, guidance. So what this does, when I say assign profile picture, it'll go to that profile picture and get all this information. Unfortunately, some of these are bad, and I learned that the hard way. I gave you an example of a good one last time, and so as I was developing this, I ran into this issue where not all of the metadata for these images are good. Like, this is random. Shout out to you, Zero Cool, or whoever was making these models, but this is really bad metadata. So how do you deal with that? I had to wrap my mind around that. I made a special case, I think, for this, and hopefully, so I'll show you what I did. But basically, we get as much information as we can from the picture so that we can generate the best model we can that's consistent with what you chose. If it's not there, then there's nothing we can do about that. And while that's generating the images for both of these characters, I just want to also, so we're talking about, right, these profiles, and what I think it's important to bring them up so that we can see what goes into them. There's a few things I want to connect some dots here. So I think these are really good. So Mr. Dursley, and he's getting his car to, right? Is that what's going to happen? The last people you expect to be involved in anything strange because they didn't hold such nonsense. Yeah, so here's Mr. Dursley, right, in his car reading the paper. That's hilarious. And then Mrs. Dursley. So the two characters of number 4 Privet Drive. This is awesome. I'm loving this. And so where do we go from here? Right? I got a lot to cover. Like I said, that so much has happened. Where do we go from here? So like I said before, Persona 5, visual novel. We're going for a visual novel experience. So I think this will do. Where you have a background, and then you have a dialogue box, and you have, I guess you should say, text box. Sometimes it's dialogue, sometimes it's narrative, right? Just narrating what is going on. Maybe it's action oriented, maybe it's describing the scene, right? Even if you can see it, it's still being described to you. So a background, and I guess a foreground, and the foreground being your characters, right? An image for every individual character, and then a narration text box, or speech box. So what do we have here, right? We have information on what to do to render a background image. We have these characters. So what do we got to do? Well, here, let me open up a to-do list. But basically, what we got to do is we need to create the scene, render that background, render each character individually. So what have I done so far? I've rendered each character individually. So what's next is the background. Render background scenes. Next, let's eliminate this swim lane. Next, I need to take the characters and remove the background so that it's just the characters, right? So remove background to isolate character image, right? Because I just need the outline, right? Just these character models so that I can insert them into the background, and then everything else around them is invisible. And then I get this effect of the visual novel where I can place these characters wherever I want, and it doesn't matter because it's just their image, not this background image. Like, I don't want the car, I don't want these houses, I just want him with the newspaper. That's it. So I'll find a method to do this automatically so that as I generate these images for all these characters, I apply that background remover to the characters, and then all you have is a character with an alpha background. You put it in, I guess, juxtapose it, overlap it with the background image, and now you have this effect. That will be awesome. So that's kind of the direction I'm going with, and there's a lot more to go with that, right? So what I'm describing is something that can be done in this scenario. And when I say this scenario, I really mean this passage. So this is passage 3 of chapter 1, right? If I go hit next, passage 4 has 3 characters and Grunning's building. So I think in the upcoming videos at some point I want to address memory, right? How do we sustain a scene, and how do we recognize that characters are entering in a scene or was always there, this is just the first time that they were mentioned, right? So we need to cover these cases and kind of make a case where there's memory across passages. So I have to strategize that, but that'll be next time or sometime soon, whenever that becomes important. I just want to, you know what, let's just generate a couple more while we're here. Generate again. So, and this is super cool. I'm also calling this simultaneously. Maybe I can go over how this is all being done. But yeah, they're both rendered at the same time. So I'm not rendering one, then rendering the other. I was worried that I have to do that, but the automatic level 11 API covers it wonderfully. So this is excellent. So the profiles that I wanted to show, what information do we have on these? Like, are these? So you can notice here that she's a bit blonde here, and odd artifacts where he's not fat. we gotta make sure that he's always fat, right? Let's try again. But yeah, so here she's blonde, and if you're following me on X, I also posted her on my post about this video, and she's blonde. Well, let's find Mrs. Dursleys profile. Here's her oh, that's Mr. There she is. And here's all the information that we have on her from book 1. Now, somewhere in here, we should find that she is blonde. Sipping tea, snapping conversation, character, any moment a sister, gossiping happily, who is pecked on the cheek. Huh. I was sure that she would be here. Saying, Oh, there, boom, boom. Second, I can't believe I missed it. Thin and blonde woman. I always thought, and that's because I watched the movies, that she was brunette. It just kind of seemed obvious to me. But actually, she's blonde. So it was one of those things where I thought, wow, this is rendering wrong. But the books have her blonde, the movies have her a brunette. So it's going to be interesting because right now I'm not accounting for that, but I'm sure that it would be nice that what happens is there's a setting that says, hey, stay consistent with these, movie characters, and others that just no, stay true to the books. I want this to be as authentic of translation, right? Authentic of portrayal of the books as possible, and that's actually an interesting point. Just experiencing this for the first time, I'm starting to think that wow, we might get better iterations with AI of honest, really good, authentic translations, right? And more personalized. So if you're going from reading a book to seeing the movies, right? Not only can you pick the style that you like to view, but also you can say, I want it to vary this much outside the book because you'll think it's entertaining, right? And that's what you're in the mood for. I think the possibilities of this technology is immense. So I don't know if this kind of clicked for you. Maybe I didn't describe it well. I'll try again another time. But this is pretty incredible stuff, and I am really excited to see how this develops. So I'll keep you in the loop. I hope to make a lot of progress again really quickly. So until then, I'll see you guys next time.